Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Dora. Welcome again to Wednesday Lunchtime Yoga. Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're providing occupiers of White City Place a live platform to learn and engage while supporting wellbeing from the comfort and safety of our own homes. We're going to begin seated today, so you may need a little bit of elevation if you find that difficult. You can choose to sit either on your shins, maybe placing a blanket or a towel underneath your shins if that's uncomfortable for the bones, particularly at the tops of your feet, and ankles sometimes need a little bit of padding. Or you can come into a cross-legged position. I'm going to place my right shin in front of the left because we'll change it around halfway through this sequence. And just allow your hands to rest down on your thighs or knees. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes or just take a soft gaze onto the floor in front of you. And have a sense of your sit bones as if they were roots reaching down beyond your mat to the surface of the earth, traveling down through the layers of the earth towards its core. And from these roots that have traveled deep into the core of the earth, drawing energy upwards, up back through the layers of the earth to the surface of the earth, to the softness of your mat, up through your sit bones, up through the body, and all the way up and out through the crown of the head. So there's a sense of your body being connected deeply to the earth, but also the space above you and the space around you. Just become aware of your natural breath. Just allowing this breath to bring you into the moment. And just noticing what it is that you've brought to your mat this lunchtime. Welcoming and accepting it all. And when you're ready, let's just gently open the eyes. Float the arms out to the sides. We're going to pay a little bit of attention to the shoulders and the hips today. Turn the palms up and bring the fingertips onto the tips of your shoulders. And as you rotate the shoulders back, you're going to take an inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and as you exhale, round the spine, navel and heart drop back. Inhale, circling the elbows, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, drop back. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, raising up your right elbow. Take the left hand onto the top of the elbow there. Release the fingertips, drawing them down your spine. If the chest is thrusting forward, soften the lower ribs back. Spin the tricep muscle in towards your cheek and then rotate your chest around towards the right. Root down through your right sit bone and maybe you're reaching up and over a little bit into a lateral stretch. Heart spins towards the ceiling, breathing into the right lung. And coming back through to the center, dropping the right elbow over the left for Garudasana arms, backs of the hands or palms of the hands can come together here. Pull the shoulders down away from the earlobes. Rotate the entire spine around towards the left. Chin stays in line with the breastbones as the exhale. Inhale, flow back. Rotate the spine around towards the right. Exhale. Inhaling, floating back. Release the arms. And just take the hands behind you so you can simply change the cross of the legs. Raise the arms out to the sides, palms up, and take the tips of the fingers onto your shoulders. We're going to rotate the arms in opposition, so the elbows drop down. Reach the elbow points back as you lift the heart, lift the gaze, inhale. And as you exhale and take them forward, round the spine. Inhaling, rolling towards the fronts of the sit bones, exhaling towards your tailbone. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, left elbow circles up. Spin the tricep muscle towards your cheek. You could use your hand to help that. Take the right hand onto the top of the elbow point. Release the fingertips down. Soften the lower ribs in. If you're holding the knees up, just notice that. See if you can relax the tops of your thighs. Rotate your chest around towards the left. Lift up and over as you take a side stretch, reaching out. Breathing into the intercostal muscles on your left side. Maintaining your roots into the earth so you have a stable base from which to reach away from. As you come back, square your shoulders, drop your left elbow over your right, Garudasana arms. Wrap the shoulder blades towards the spine. As you exhale, rotate around towards the right. Inhale back through to the center. Exhale, rotate around towards the left. Inhale back through to the center. This time we're going to slip the hands onto the elbows and raise the arms above the crown of the head. As you exhale, drop your navel and your heart back so you round, but keep the forearms pressing towards the wall behind you. Inhale, lift your heart, look up. Exhaling, waving through the spine. Inhaling, sliding the heart up the sternum. One more time, exhaling, lower belly gently scooping inwards and upwards. Inhaling, reach the arms up towards the sky and then circle the arms behind you here. So the fingers are pointing forward. I'm going to turn sideways and take the feet to the floor. Feet are hip distance apart. Hands are firmly rooted, fingers pointing forward. Press into the feet and the hands. As you inhale, lift up into a tabletop. As you exhale, take the sit bones to the heels and bend the elbows. Inhale, lifting the hips, so further opening the shoulders. The deeper actions to come. Exhale. Inhaling, coming up into a tabletop. Exhale, sit bones towards the heels. Walk your feet a little bit further forward and start to come up onto the tips of your fingers here. And then curling your shins around, come onto your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes. Walk your hands back towards you as you flip over the feet. Hooking your armpits over your knees, stretching the fingers forward. Let the head release down, chin to chest. As you lift your sit bones, slide the fingers back towards the toes. Feet are about 2 fists apart here, hanging over your legs. Reach around and interlace your fingers onto your sacrum. Bending your right knee generously. Maybe begin to straighten your left leg. Reach your knuckles back and twist your heart towards the left. You might be doing this with both knees bent. Bend both knees, rotate your shoulders towards the floor. Perhaps begin to straighten your opposite knee as you turn your heart towards that straight leg. Square your shoulders, bend both knees. Drop the thumbs onto the tailbone. Chin is slightly in as you curl your tailbone underneath you. Roll yourself up to standing. And release the arms down by your sides. Float the arms out to the sides and up, bringing your hands into prayer. Elbows are narrow as you drop your thumbs between your shoulder blades. Find your roots through the four corners of each foot. Rotate your heart towards the right, keeping your pelvic bones square to the front as best you can. Come back through to the center on the inhale. Exhale, rotate your chest around towards the left. Come back through to the center, hands in prayer position, fingers pointing down, bend the knees. Reach your hips back like an Utkatasana. Let the belly come onto the thighs. And let the head go, chin moving towards the sternum, elbows are narrow. And then releasing the fingertips onto the earth. Lengthen your heart. And just step back 1 and 2 or step the hands forward a little bit if you're not towards the front of your mat into a downward facing dog. So it's making your way there. Feet are hip distance apart. The hands are a little bit wider than the shoulders. Spreading the toes, spreading the weight across the metatarsals, making your hands feel 10 times bigger. Let's slide the right shin forward so the shin comes all the way to the floor, knee comes towards the right thumb, back toes stay tucked, lengthen your heart with the shoulder blades down the back. My back knee is still off the floor. As I slide my right toes back into down dog, I'm going to bend the left knee and turn my heart and gaze underneath the left armpit. A little mini twist into the upper body. Square the gaze and shoulders to the floor. Slide the left chin forward towards the left thumb. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Back toes stay tucked, knees off the floor. Sliding the left toes back into down dog. Bending the right knee and turning the chest and gaze underneath the right armpit. And then lengthening both heels towards the skirting board, squaring shoulders in your down dog and lowering the knees to the floor. Flattening the feet, walking the wrists underneath the shoulders. Extending your right leg out behind you, flexing the foot. And take the right leg out to the side, placing the foot to the floor. So toes are pointing forward to begin with. Take your left hand in line with left knee. Rotate the right inner thigh towards the sky as the knee and toes point up. And that same arm, that right arm, is going to open here, opening the chest towards the sky. And lift out to that bottom shoulder and expand out in all directions from your navel. This top arm feeds behind the arm, thread the needle. My forearm's hovering off the floor. I'm going to bend my left elbow a little bit here. It's a strong stretch of the inner seam of that right leg that's extending. And pushing into your left palm, open up the chest once again. As you come back, slide your right foot in a little bit so you can bend the knee. Take the right hand to the floor, fingertips inside. Left arm sweeps over by the cheek. And as you push into your right heel, maybe you're coming up a little bit more, elbow inside the knee, hands to the heart in prayer. Back of the neck stays long, and there's a relationship between your right knee and your elbow here. This might be enough, or if you feel you combined, top arm comes around, right shoulder rolls forward, and you're maybe interlocking a finger or two just behind that, or just reaching, or staying with your hands in prayer. And then release the hands to the floor, walk them forward. Stretch your right heel out once again. Tuck your back toes and shift your weight forward here a little bit. If you can, you're going to lift the heel off the floor, straighten your leg and circle the leg around into the three-legged dog. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Inhale, extend the leg up and away. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend the leg. One more time. Exhaling. Inhaling. And step the foot to the floor. Equally weight yourself here through these 4 points of contact. Bending the elbows a little bit, scoop the armpits forward so you have a sense of spaciousness around the earlobes. And lower your knees to the floor, flatten your feet, wrists underneath the shoulders, extend your left leg up behind you, inhale. Take it out to the side. Place the foot to the floor. Take the right hand in line with the right knee. Open your left arm out, up. Open the chest towards the sky. And then rotate, pivot on the heel so your knee and toes point up. You're expanding out from crown of the head to tailbone, lifting out of that bottom shoulder as you breathe. Sweeping this arm behind. Like a little thread of the needle here. My arm is hovering, my head is hovering. And then opening up the arm once again, opening up the chest. And as you pull that left foot in, place the foot back to the floor. So you're going to bend your knee. Take your left hand or left fingertips inside. Lean the shoulder blades back so the right arm comes over by the cheek. Push into the foot. So you can come up a little bit more. Elbow comes inside the knee, comes to the heart. So there's a relationship between the knee and the elbow here. If you feel you can, the right arm wraps around. The left shoulder rotates forward, comes underneath the thigh for a little bind. Lean into that leg a little bit more. Keep the chin slightly down. Releasing the hands back to the floor. Extend that left leg sliding on the heel. Tuck your back toes. Shift the weight towards your hands. Use the strength of your upper body as you circle that leg around into a three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, take the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg up and back. One more time. Exhaling. Inhaling and stepping the foot back into your downward facing dog. I'm just going to turn around. Soften your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. And come all the way up to standing, leading with the heart, sweeping the arms out and up. And just walking yourself forward towards the front of the mat and releasing your arms down here. Take an inhale, raising the arms. This time we're going to cross the wrists, fingertips onto the tips of the shoulders. Open your elbows wide. Bend your knees and come forward, belly onto the thighs. Maybe letting your upper body curl forward here, chin to chest. And lifting your elbows, pressing the skull into your wrists. Coming up a little bit, releasing the fingertips to the floor. Step back with your left toes into your lunge. Lower your back knee to the floor. As you inhale, float your palms up, facing forward. As you exhale, turn the palms back. Take the fingertips onto the tips of the shoulders. Lift the elbows towards the sky. Slide the heart up the sternum. And then as you hinge your hips back, lift the front toes. Reach your arms out, palms facing up. Walking yourself back onto your foot. Tips of the fingers come onto the shoulders. And then lift your back knee off the floor as you reach up. Take the back heel to the floor, open your arms into warrior two, and take a moment to adjust the feet if you need to, if you feel a little bit too wide or a little bit too narrow, melting the shoulders. Wrapping your arms around your chest. The left arm's going to come over the top here. You have your right knee bent. And you can keep your arms here if this is enough of a bind, or circle the left arm over your head and see if you can interlock a finger or two just around the shoulder blade here. Or just reach. Turn the tricep muscle in towards your cheek. Bend a little bit deeper. As you straighten the knee, rotate around towards the back leg. This is the inhale. Exhale, bend your knee, rotate your chest towards the right. It's the whole spine rotating here. Inhaling, rotate towards the back leg. Exhale, rotate towards the right. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Keep the bend in the knee, rotate the chest to the center and over towards the back straight leg. Reach out with your left elbow and sweep it across the front. Maybe begin to straighten the front leg, so you're kind of on a diagonal here coming forward. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heel. Keep reaching out with that lifted elbow. And then bending the knee. Release the hands to the floor. Step back into a downward facing dog. Let's take a little vinyasa to release. Float forward into plank as you inhale. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Through into baby cobra. Lift your navel, tuck toes, back into downward facing dog. Lovely. Walk your feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. Take an inhale, soften the knees, arms come out to the sides, all the way up by your ears. And this time you're going to take the fingertips, making little cups around the side of your skull, so thumbs around the fronts of the ears, just lightly touching the skull. Bend the knees, come through Utkatasana, belly towards the thighs. Maybe you're straightening the legs a little bit, and then rotating the heart towards the right. Little twist to the upper body. Come back. Rotate the heart to the left. Coming back, softening chin towards the throat. And then walking the fingertips forward, lifting the heart. Stepping back with the right toes, lowering your back knee to the floor. Float the arms up, palms face forward as you inhale. And as you rotate the palms to the back wall, melt the shoulders. Fingertips come onto the tips of the shoulders, elbows narrow. Point them up and slide the heart up the sternum. Reach reaching the arms back up, hinge the hips back, lift the front toes, palms face up, or take the fingertips to the floor if this feels too much. Walking back onto the foot as you inhale, fingertips fold onto the tops of the shoulders. Lift your back knee as you unfold your arms. And bring the back heel to the floor, open into a warrior two. If you're a little bit too long, just shorten your stance here. Wrap your arms around your chest. The right arm is on top with the left knee bent. Draw the shoulders and elbows down. This might be enough. Or drape the right arm over the head and see if you can bind around the shoulder blade. So maybe hooking a finger or two. Turning the tricep muscle in towards the cheek. And as you straighten the front leg, rotate your chest towards the back leg, the right leg. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, rotate around. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Hold the knee where it is. Rotate yourself around towards the center. Reach forward with the elbow and sweep it across. And as you begin to straighten that front leg, lift the elbow again. You're on a diagonal with a slight twist. Rooting through the feet, relax any tension in the toes if that's possible. And then release the hands to the floor. Step back into a down facing dog. Float forward into plank. Knees, chest and chin. You could have just held your down dog if you wish. You can always skip the vinyasa. Come into a child's pose whenever you need a break. And walk your feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. Soften your knees. Come forward with the heart as you come all the way up to standing. And crossing the wrists, fingers onto the tips of your shoulders. Lean the skull back into the wrists. Bend your knees, coming forward, keeping the elbows lifted. Belly's kind of lying on the thigh here. And then as you begin to straighten your legs perhaps a little bit more, you could tuck your chin in slightly here. Release the fingertips to the floor. Step back with your left toes. Floating your arms up as you inhale, palms face forward. Exhale, turn the palms. Fingertips come onto the tips of your shoulders. Reaching up as you inhale again, sweep the arms down by your sides. And maybe hop a couple of times. See if you can lift up that back leg into a warrior three. You can have a bent supporting leg if it helps to square the hips. And stepping back, raising the arms, opening up into a warrior two. As you straighten up and turn your right toes in, sweep your right elbow underneath your left for Garudasana arms. Inhaling, lifting the heart, the arms will come with you. Exhale, spinning the heels in, bending the knees and rounding the spine. Inhale, heels spin out, lift the heart. Exhale, heels in, bend the knees out to the sides, little round the spine. Inhale, spin the heels out, lift your heart, soften the knees, coming forward here. Through a flat back, pulling the elbows towards the sternum, lengthening through the back of the neck. Keep the weight moving forward. You might come a little bit further, as if the Forearms were to come to the floor. Of course, you can release the bind. If you need more stability, take the hands to the floor. Releasing your Garudasana arms here, taking the fingertips to the earth. Walk yourself around towards the right foot. Circle the right arm in front of the foot. And maybe take the web of the first finger and the thumb just around the Achilles tendon here. Lean the shoulder into the knee, be right onto the tips of your left fingers. Both feet are pointing forward, parallel. Root to the feet, root through the feet, lift your back heel, maybe the hips lift a little bit, and then you can let your head go. So there's a little rounding here through the spine. Hips are perhaps higher than the crown of the head. And then let that extend a little bit. Take the hands back to the floor, either side of the foot. Step back into a downward facing dog. You can hold it here, lower into a child's pose, or take a vinyasa. All of those choices are good choices. Listen to your body rather than your ego, and what it is that you need right now to bring you into a place of neutrality. Just letting go of that love sequence. Walk your feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. Soften the knees, lead with the heart as you come all the way up to standing. Again, changing the cross of the wrists behind, only if this isn't causing you to crane your neck forward here. So you want to be able to press the skull back, slide the roof of your palate, or the palate of your mouth, top palate backwards here. Bend the knees, bring the belly onto the thighs, keep the elbows lifted. Maybe you're straightening the legs a little bit, folding forward, tucking the chin in slightly. Reaching the elbows slightly forward, place the fingertips to the floor and step back with your right toes. Floating the arms up as you inhale. As you exhale, turn the palms towards the wall behind you. Let the fingertips come onto the shoulders. Slide the heart up the sternum. Little front body stretch. Elbows are narrow. And then as you offer your arms, palms up, they sweep down by your side. Curl the shoulder blades around a little bit. However many hops you might need to power yourself gently onto the supporting leg. You can have a bent supporting leg, it can be straight. Warrior 3. And then stepping back, raising the arms and opening up into your warrior 2. Just releasing the shoulders a little bit, feel some spaciousness there. Straighten up the leg, turn the toes in. Left elbow wraps underneath the right, Garudasana arms. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, spin the heels in, bend the knees. Little round here. Stretching across the scapulars. Turn the heels out, lift the heart, inhale. Exhale, heels in, bend the knees and round. Inhaling, turning the heels out so the feet are parallel. And as you exhale, coming forward. Hugging the thigh muscles around the bones. Shifting the weight forward towards the balls of the feet. Maybe coming a little bit further as if the forearms were to come to the earth. Hugging your elbows in. And then releasing the bind, taking the fingertips to the floor. Walk yourself around towards your left foot, swiveling up the back heel. The left hand comes around the front of the foot. The web between your first finger and your thumb comes onto the Achilles tendon, perhaps. Be right up onto the tips of your right fingers. And your left shoulder blade is squeezing into the knee to shoulder blade. Root to the ball of your back foot and front foot. Lift the back heel, and there's a little round to the spine here. So as if the hips were lifting a little bit higher than the crown of the head. Extending. Releasing the hands so it's outside of the foot and stepping back into a downward facing dog. Slide the shoulder blades up the back. Float forward into plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin. Glide through as you inhale. Come back, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Lovely, and let's lower the knees to the floor, flatten the feet, take a little child's pose. We're just going to be here. Maybe sway the hips across the ankles. Take a moment just to re-establish your breath, your connection to the earth. Coming up onto hands and knees. Bring the knees in, tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. You walk your feet forward towards the backs of your wrists. Soften your knees. Take your right fingertips forward here. And you're going to see if you can just take a hold of your left foot behind you with the left hand. And open up the knee and unfold into a variation of Chandrasana. There's a little bow here between the breastbone and the pubis. Maybe the leg and the arm extend. The hand comes back to the floor. Square your hips a little bit. Bend both knees and take the left toes to the floor. As you walk your hands back, maybe bring the back heel to the floor. You could even pivot on the ball of your right, or the heel of your right foot so the toes point up. Drag the heel back a little bit and see if you can roll yourself up to standing. Straightening the leg. Lovely. Place the foot to the floor. So it's about a stride. Wrap your left arm around, kind of in front of the neck, and hand onto the trapezius muscle. That big muscle there that holds a lot of tension. Raise your right arm up by your ear. Actually, let's take it around. Let's take it around the back and see if we can bind here. So around the shoulder blade. If this is too much, you could take your hands into a prayer position, fingers pointing down. Slide the heart up a little bit. Root yourself through both feet and start to come forward. Press the top of your right shin bone forward here. Come to a flat back or a little bit further. And then releasing the hands to the floor. Step back into a lunge. Step back into a downward facing dog. Great. Walk yourself forward towards the backs of the wrists. Soften your knees. Take the left fingertips forward along the mat. And as you pick up your right foot, maybe you take a hold of the foot. Both knees are bent to begin with. And start to unfold here. You could push the foot into the hand, increasing the space from the breastbone to the pubis. Extending the leg and the arm. Keep breathing. Floating the hand to the floor, squaring the hips. And bending both knees. So you take the ball of your right foot to the floor. Walk the hands back as you shift the weight from the front foot to the back foot, lifting up the front toes. Dragging that heel back and lifting the navel so you've got some support as you roll yourself up to standing. Everything might be wobbling quite a lot here. Take the foot to the floor. Wrapping your right arm loosely across, so just drape it across. Take the hand onto the trapezius muscle. Left arm, rotate the shoulder forward and see if you might take a bind here. If it doesn't happen, if the shoulder doesn't like this, just take the hands into a prayer position. Fingers pointing down. Lift the heart a little bit and then start to come forward. Reaching through both legs. And you can just reach the fingers if a bind isn't available. Maybe a little bit further. And then release the arms. Bend the front knees. Step back with your right toes. Step back into your downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor, flatten the feet, come and sit down into a child's pose. Curl your way up to sit on the heels, tracing the fingertips along the mat and onto your thighs. Bring the knees together, sink your hips to one side, and swing the legs out in front of you. And let's just bring the feet into a Baddha Konasana. And I'm going to flex my feet here. So a long enough Baddha Konasana that you feel the spine is relatively tall here. Take a hold of the right foot, interlacing the fingers around the outer edge of the foot. And just start to rock open the hip. Pull the arm bones back into their sockets. So just kind of cradling that leg, opening up the hip joint a little bit here. And just drawing the knee outside the rib cage, reaching your left arm forward. So almost like you're drawing a bow here like an archer. As you take the foot back, so the feet are going to be together, keep this arm extended. Opposite arm comes onto the knee. And this top arm sweeps over by the cheek. Reaching outwards, keeping both sit bones rooted. Crossing the top arm over, so the hands are on the knees. Have a sense of lengthening your thigh bones away from you towards the knees. Little bit of weight here and come forward. Or you might just be upright here. Couple of breaths. Pressing gently down, all the way back up. Just take a hold of the elbows, float the arms to frame the head. Reaching the arms up, releasing them down, flexing the feet. Take a hold of the other foot, interlacing the hands over the outside of the foot and just rocking the hip open here. Just cradling the leg a little bit. And drawing the knee back outside as if it's going beyond the shoulder. Reach the arm out, opposite arm to foot, like you're drawing a bow, like an archer. in the spine as tall as you can. So rolling towards the fronts of the sit bones, reaching forward. Feet come together in a Baddha Konasana. Arm comes across onto the opposite knee, and the arm that's extended slices the air, comes over by the cheek. And the arm crosses over, hands onto the knees, lengthening the thigh bones away, reaching the knees away, arms across. And you can stay upright here. Start to come forward and just breathing into the back of the heart. Feeling the spread across the scapulars. And coming back up, taking a hold of the elbow points and reaching the arms up above the crown of the head. Reach up towards the sky and circle the arms around behind you. Just bringing the knees upright, feet flat to the floor, fingers are pointing forward again. So you could just come back to that same pose we did initially, a tabletop pose with both feet on the ground. So that's your first option here. Or we bring the feet together, cross the right thigh over the left, push into both hands and the foot as you lift your hips off. And maybe you're just looking over your right shoulder here as you breathe. Releasing your hips back down onto the earth and changing legs. If you're going to do the crossover here, the twisted roots, press into the hands and the feet, lift your hips. Look over your left shoulder. And then releasing down. Lovely. Uncrossing your legs here. Sweeping the arms around and just wrapping your arms around the shins, holding elbows or wrists. Round the spine, tuck the chin towards the chest. Spreading across the shoulder blades. And sliding the belly up the thighs. And then just let go of the elbows here and wiggle the feet a little bit wider. Make sure you're towards the front of your mat. Reach your arms forward and imagine you're squeezing a block between your thighs. So just engaging those deep abdominal muscles, the muscles around the hip flexors, the support to your spine as you start to roll yourself down. Great. Bringing your feet together and a little bit closer towards your sit bones. Let's cross the right thigh over the left. This is quite a strong deep twist. So if you feel at all unsure about your sacrum or your lower back, maybe just keep the feet hip distance apart and drop the knees over. Yeah, with your twisted root pose, right thigh comes over the left. And whichever variation you've chosen, you might want to try these arms. So the arms come over you, taking a hold of the forearms, each forearm or the wrist here. And as the knees drop over to the left, your arms come to the right. Gaze could turn to the right also, so you may get quite a nice stretch through the deltoid muscle here. Tailbone lengthens forward. Breathing behind the navel. coming back. Arms can stay where they are, switching legs. Left thigh over or feet are hip distance apart as the knees drop over to the right. The arms come to the left. Maybe you get a little deltoid stretch here. Tailbone lengthens forwards. Breathe behind the navel. Coming back. Unwinding the legs, feet together. Drop the knees out to the sides. Let the arms come over onto the floor behind you. Scoot the shoulder blades onto the upper back. Butterfly pose. Couple of breaths here. Reaching your arms towards the wall behind you, letting go of your elbows. Sweep your arms down by your sides. Hands underneath the thighs to draw your knees together. Draw your knees towards your chest. And slip the hands over the fronts of your kneecaps. We're going to move slowly around the clock face of the pelvis, taking the knees forward to 12 o'clock, right towards the tailbone. Over to 1, to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6. So the knees are pointing towards you, close to you. To 7, to 8, to 9, to 10, to 11, 12, to the tailbone. And then you're going to come over the other side to 11, to 10, to 9, to 8, to 7, to 6, to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12. If it feels the next right thing to do, lift your head and shoulders off the floor, squeeze yourself into a little seed. Before releasing the feet to the floor, arms down by your sides. You can stay here with the knees bent for your Shavasana or stretch the legs forward. You might be rolling the head from side to side. Just snuggling and settling your body down into the earth for final relaxation. And taking just a few conscious breaths. Before settling yourself for the last few minutes in silence together. Gently making your way back into your body. Become aware of your breath once again. And have an awareness of the whole body as you lie on the earth, its weight and connection to the earth, and the space that you occupy in the room. And perhaps deepening the inhalation a little here as you prepare to come back into your day. You can stretch out fingers and toes or rotate your ankles and your wrists just to come back into your skin. And when you're ready, roll yourself onto your right side. Pause there for a moment before making your way back to a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. And we'll place the hands just one more time on the trapezius muscles here, so fingers reaching down and just allowing the elbow points to move towards one another and down. And head is floating off the spine. Sliding the hands down onto the center of the chest, one hand on top of the other at the heart space. Just feeling the breath that's here. Sliding the hands down onto the belly, so around and slightly below the navel. And just feeling this deep, nurturing, grounding breath that's here. Bringing your hands to your heart in prayer, and the thumbs and head move towards one another as you bow gently. Raising your gaze and softly opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your day. Go gently.